Alright.
We're about to finish our Dungeons and Dragons campaign of the world's largest dungeon.
I also charge
20,
you
level
with
51,
charge.
something like that. We're going through the halls of ice and stone. The furthest reaches of the complex were never intended to be part of the Celestial's dungeon. Beneath the rocky foothills at the base of the mighty peak, a system of naturally occurring caves cuts their way through both ice and earth. Over the years, these caverns served as homes for many and buried creatures, from packs of loathsome winter wolves to enormous frost worms. For a time, the caves were even occupied by a fringe cult of humans and humanoids who worshipped a now-forgotten god of elemental ice. Whether the Celestials knew of this place when they built their dungeon in such proximity is unclear. Surely, even if they did, it was of no concern to them. The complexes were separated by thick walls of stone and magical walls. Until that is, the first of the quakes hit. Tremors shook the earth, tore the roots from the mountain, and the barriers between the dungeon and caverns crumbled like bread crust. Slowly at first, but in ever-increasing numbers, the prisoners and inhabitants of the dungeon awoke to the truth that a new flaw had been introduced into the Celestial's grand design. If they could make their way there, they might be able to grasp their freedom. Fortunately for the outside world, something else happened first. Two Titans, brothers named Barcellus and Graces, began receiving dreams and even waking visions of the Celestial's dungeon and of the new threat imposed to the surrounding area. Whence these portents and warnings came, they never knew. Perhaps they were sent by some higher power who had not forgotten the dungeon as the rest of the world had, or even by some of the Celestial's guards who remained within. Ultimately, it didn't matter. The Titans knew the charge of the same guard with the dungeon, lest the vile inhabitants escape. They uproot themselves, bidding farewell to the lives they had known, and made their homes here. Barcellus made himself comfortable in the caves of ice, keeping constant watch on the new exit. Graces chose to guard the main entrance to the dungeon in case the quakes had weakened it as well. It was his long dead body may have run across so long ago, if you remember that part. I remember. For centuries more, the Titans stood their post, ensuring that no one escaped. Few creatures made it as far as the exit from the caverns, and Barcellus ensured that no one survived to take advantage of it. It was a hard, lonely existence, but a necessary one. Some decades ago, it all changed. The mountains near the complex dwelt the Red Ice Tribe, a powerful clan of frost giants, led by Jardarier, chieftain and high priest of the Aspect Adventure. The elemental power of ice and war, who may even be the same power worshipped long ago in the self-same caverns. The red ice conquered many of the surrounding lands. Eventually, through powerful divinations and investigation of local legends, Jardarier learned of the Celestial's dungeon and the Titan guarding it, and Jardarier devised a plan. The giantess cleric realized that, mighty as he was, he would be more powerful still with the wealth of magical riches and an army of the vilest creatures under his command. If he could wrest control of the exit from the Titans, he could bargain with potential escapees, trading them their freedom for any wealth they might have acquired from others in the dungeon. And vows of service to his clan. Barcellus was a mighty foe, but between the red ice's overwhelming numbers and the mighty magics and Jardarier's command, even he was overcome. The cross-giant chieftain did not slay the Titan for fear that Paladin's death might be sensed by other celestial and outer planar beings. Instead, with the power of a miracle, he imprisoned the Titan deep in a block of ice where he remains, physically trapped with mystical punches. The Red Ice Tribe took over the catacombs of Jardir took on the name of Barcelus, allowing others to believe the Titans still stood watch. Unfortunately for Jardir, his plan was not worked particularly well. The few inhabitants of the dungeon have managed to reach the complex of ice, and most of those that were unwilling to bargain had to be destroyed. The red ice has gained a few magical items to add to their hoard, but little else. Still, Jardir is not about to give up. Even one powerful ally gained from his efforts would make them worthwhile, and anyway, the red ice has such a nice place of its own. Of course, the tribe does not control the entirety of the complex. Wild monsters, escaped slaves, and even a being from deep in the dungeon have their own ways. Areas the red ice giants have not yet managed to acquire. It is through the chaotic and violent region that you must pass if you regain your freedom. Your final challenge is upon you, and only if you're the bravest and most skilled do you even have a slim hope of besting it. So now everything is about to be ramped up. Apparently there were 2 Titans at the beginning. You saw the dead body of one. Ice Giant is pretending to be that dead Titan. That never works out well. Pretending to be someone you're not.
I also charge you
with
attack.
someone killed, but it's not good.
Roll again.
Alright, I cast.
So you're moving through an open cavern. Streaks of filthy ice run down the walls of this wild cavern, cross-covering dirt crunches underfoot, sending minuscule particles up into the air. The earth here has clearly been disturbed quite recently, and by either great many creatures or a few very large ones, sounds echo strangely, growing louder towards the cavern's narrower side. The chamber appears to be empty of living beings, though it is difficult to see to the far side or into the very nooks and crannies. Symbols and carvings. Though very difficult to see in ambient light, numerous symbols have been carved into the wall of this niche in the cavern. In fact, it seems as though the marks have been altered numerous times. Sharp turn. The holes turn to the left, where it swiftly comes to an end. The passage continues forward as well, but narrows dramatically as it does so to a width of more than 5 feet.
Alright, I cast.
I'm going to attack with my bow.
As you proceed down the hall from the intersection with a tramp, a loud blast from a trumpet echoes ahead of you. Even as the reverberations fade, you hear footsteps. Though difficult to tell with all the echoes, they sound as though they are moving in a direction away from you. The hallway widens here, allowing access to a small chamber to the south and a large cavern ahead of you. You hear bustling sound up ahead.
Roll again.
In the chamber to your left, staring at you with wide eyes, is a shaggy creature clad in armor and furs. Even as you spot it, it releases a loud blast of sound from a primitive horn it holds to its lips.
I also charge you attack. Charge.
Communal chamber. This enormous cavern, vaguely mushroom-shaped, clearly seconds as a communal camp and sleeping area. Primitive pallets and fur pelts lay strewn about the room. They may reach the walls. It is difficult to see without any lighting or into the various nooks. The spell is enough to make your eyes water. Clearly not all hides have been tanned or cured, and even an extreme cold decay has set in on more than a few of them. The sleeping pallets are all empty. The chamber is not. Large humanoid creatures so shaggy that you cannot tell where your own fur leaves off and the furs that they are wearing begin. Advance on you from various points in the room. They hold weapons in hand, and their faces are twisted in snarls of rage. You slay these hostile creatures. They were bugbears.
Alright,
Roll again. Attack with my bow.
There's a portcullis.
Also charge.
A primitive but effective portcullis blocks further passage down this corridor. The crossbars are on the gate are formed from the bones of some creature far larger than a human. They appear to be held together with ice so thick that it is a consistency of stone. We do not see any other means of opening the gate behind the portcullis, except two passages, one to the northeast, one to the southeast. Both are blocked by
Roll
curtains,
again.
so you cannot see what may lie beyond. Treasure chamber.
I
Pushing aside the
also
curtain to the
charge you
northeast, you
with
see a
attack.
corridor that extends less than 100 feet and then stops abruptly.
wound.
It widens as it progresses, creating something of a chamber. At the furthest end, within the chamber, are a number of crates, chests, or caches, and other receptacles. Chieftain's quarters. Even as you push aside the curtain blocking access to the chamber, a free sound comes in your direction. A blade of shaggy fur and spinning blade slams into the heart.
Roll again.
I cast Cure Lesser Wound.
You kill that creature.
I
This side
also
of the
charge
cavern
you
has been
with
made
attack.
up of fairly extravagant under the surface of the living chamber. An actual wooden bed frame supports layers of thick furs, and a number of old but thick wool cloaks have been sewn together to form a rug. Broken weapons, bits of armor, helms line the walls, and their various and right sizes, styles, and suggest they come from a wide range of races. It sits in the center of the room, dozens of compact earth surrounding by stones, where a small but cheerful fire crackles away within it.
Roll
The
again.
curtain that prevented you from seeing into this chamber from the gate is
also
quick for
charge
both
you
your privacy and
with
for keeping the warmth of the fire from reaching out of the flame.
I attack.
There's a
my quarterstaff.
high-level bugbear here. You fight and
Alright,
kill
I
it.
cast Cure
Slay it.
Lesser
Right.
Wound.
Excavation. The great chamber is clearly a narrow cavern. The floor is uneven and a little ordered with columns and stalagmites. The walls are rough, jagged, and riddled with crevices. The sound of hard labor, hammer blows, and cracking rock echo from the far end of the cavern. From where you stand, you cannot see who or what might be the source of these sounds. This portion of the cave does not seem as natural as random as its rest. Clearly someone is digging here to extend the cave rest, forming a small passage or an antechamber that nature did not intend. Two bugbears will
Alright.
kill both of
I'm
them
going to
easily
attack
with
with
no
my
chance.
bow.
Alright, I
Entryway.
cast
This
Cure
cavern
Lesser
starts
Wound.
wide enough and even where it is narrow to the east, the
I
floor remains sufficiently
also
broad
charge
for
you
these
with
creatures
attack.
far larger than you.
Charge.
The ice and rock that make up the floor are broken and uneven and should not cause you a great deal of trouble if you pick your way across it carefully, but you would not want to take it out of its canter. Here and there, enormous limbs and broken bits of equipment just with ice cracks and protrusions and mounds on the floor are not.
Alright. I'm going to attack with my bow.
Frostworm Cavern. The wide passage opens into an enormous cavern with four
I
eyes on the floor.
also
Numerous
charge
passages
you
of caverns
with
continue all directions. We have
Roll
little
again.
time to examine any of them. In the center of the room, an enormous worm-like creature with gaping mandibles lunges your direction, sliding across the ice with frightening
I
speed.
attack with my quarterstaff.
Frostworm attack. You kill the frostworm.
Alright.
This thing clutch.
I'm
A
going to
large
attack with
side
my
of this
bow.
cavern has a rim of broken ice and rock against the northern wall. The floor shows signs of warping and is not smooth as it is itself.
also
Circle
charge
shards
you.
are a number of strange objects. They appear to be ice formations,
Roll
but their
again.
perfect oval shape suggests they may not be natural. Merle. From a distance, the walls in this almost rectangular
I
alcove
attack
look just
with
like
my
all those in the surrounding area, rock covered by layers of ice. Upon closer inspection, however, it is clear that these walls are not
I'm going to
normal.
attack with
Though
my
it is
bow.
cracked in many places, solely with age hidden behind thick sheets of ice, you see that a strange mural adorns all three of these
I
walls.
also
Specific
charge
details are
you.
difficult to distinguish, but you are fairly certain you make out human shapes in various poses and postures.
Roll again.
They appear to be prostrating themselves before icons that look like snow-capped mountains. Among the mountains are shapes much larger than the humanoids
Alright,
depicted. These shapes represent white
Alright.
dragons, blue-bearded and white-skinned giants, and other such winter creatures.
Alright. I'm going to attack with my bow.
After squeezing through a bottleneck in the corridor, you find yourself in a moderately sized chamber of haphazard and jagged shape. Although they are mostly
also
covered with ice
charge
and
you.
dirt, you can make out portions of various abstract symbols carved into the floor. They too are jagged, almost
Alright,
sharp,
I
somehow
cast
Roll
disconcerting
again.
to look at for more than a few moments at a time. Near the south end of the chamber stands a rectangular block of stone, perhaps 5 feet long by 2 feet wide by 4 feet high. These stones is obviously not native to the caverns.
I'm going
Further
to
block
attack attack
code
with my
made of
bow.
polished white marble, which we have never come across in the region. Directly behind the marble stands an iron disc the size of a
also
carrot
charge
upon which are carved more abstract symbols intertwined with draconic forms, heavily burdened human faces and mountain peaks.
Roll
Mephitilair.
again.
This cavern is narrow but high. The ceiling appears to be at least 20 feet from the floor. Numerous ledges and holes bent into the walls, and several columns of ice and rock rise from the floor to various
I'm
heights.
going to attack with my bow.
Mephit, retreat. The corridor leading to my high-ceiling cavern is extremely narrow, less than 2 feet wide. Clearly, you can see the ceiling goes, and the walls are rough. Compared to the other caverns you have seen in the region, this particular cave is tiny, less than 15 feet on each side. The ceiling is only about 7 feet from the floor, making the feel even more cramped. The thin corridor is as narrow as treacherous as the one that led you here leads off to the southwest. Lair of the Great Wizard. Great Lizard.
I'm going to
As you
attack
round
with
a
my
bend in the
bow.
cavern wall, an earth-shaking roar rattles your eardrums, and then the earth literally does shake as an enormous reptilian bull, eyes aglow, face and skin black as midnight, charges towards you on 2 powerful ledges running beside. It has a bearded, white-skinned giant wearing furs and carrying a pair of axes. The gap is in the stone beside you, and it is almost too wide to approximately call the cavern, and it's really little more than an exceptionally large bend in the wall. Still, it's clear that something has been using the area as a lair. Furs and stones are piled into an enormous circular nest, and a pallet of furs laid out besides. It looks almost like a primitive bed for a giant. The entire place smells of reptilian musk. You can only imagine how much worse it would be in a warmer climate. There's a mega raptor here that you fight and kill.
Roll again.
Refuge. Winter Wolf Den. Trainer. This broad cavern has a number of niches along the wall, holes in the crevice in the stone. The remains of large fire pit and are left near the wall from within the crevices. Eyes gleam and glare at you. Abandoned camp. Gone fishing. The lake shore. Fishing again. Fishing camp. Young adult dwarf.
Roll again.
Cross giant bear axe.
Alright.
Yes, lair.
I'm going to attack with my bow.
I attack my quarter.
Abandoned
I
the dead.
also charge in.
Ice corridor.
Charge.
Purple worm lair. Bone devil lair. Slave cave. Crevice. Huge cave. Corpse storage pool room. Take off chains.
Alright. I'm
Cairo
going to
Hydra
attack
lair.
with my bow.
Sentry camp.
Alright, I
Hit.
cast Cure
Slave
Lesser.
house.
I also charge
Refuge.
in.
Mist cave.
Charge.
Black Pudding Cave, Central Mines, Deep Mines, Grimoire has lair, Grounds and Aspect of Winter, Side Waiting Chamber, The Exit, Assembly,
Alright, I cast Cure
Barcelus's Legacy,
Roll
I'm going to
again.
attack with my bow.
Jardarier's Throne Room.
I also charge in.
Well,
Attack.
you end up coming close Armor Tulo and Amarantiel and Barcelus and Bravus, and you slay all of them and complete this dungeon. And you pass level 20 or level 12.
Alright. I'm going to attack with my bow.
Roll again.